Hey, welcome to 2018. I am so excited for the new year and I am so dedicated to helping you make this the year that you crush it with your blog. Now, I want to move away from the usual social media tips and affiliate marketing strategies and monetization tactics to talk about something that is so important but often goes under discussed, and that is mental health. And if you're thinking, wait a sec, I thought we were going to talk about productivity, I'm going to show you how this all connects in a second. But first, I want to be completely honest with you. For a very long time, I ran my blog in a state of constant frenzy. I would wake up already stressed out before I even had breakfast, thinking about my to-do list and all the things that I had to get done. I was breathless, and I honestly wasn't happy. I wasn't able to enjoy the fact that I was travel blogging, I was traveling, I was my own boss, I was getting paid to be creative, but I was so stressed out. So I did something that felt very counterintuitive to myself at the time, but was so vital to my transformation, and that was I took a pause. Now, for anyone else who has ever felt in this constant state of frenzy, you know how difficult this can be. But it was so powerful for helping me look at the big picture and pinpoint what I really needed to change to see results. The thing is, for those of us who kind of find ourselves in these states of anxiety and these constant states of frenzy, we have this idea in our heads that the more we go, the more productive that we'll be. But the truth is that that's not true. We really do need to take a pause to look at the big picture and figure out what we need to change to really meet our goals and see big leaps in growth. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 12 tactics that you can utilize to be more productive in the new year. But before we get into that, I would love to hear from you down below in the comments. What tactic are you going to utilize in 2018 to supercharge your productivity? Let me know. And if you don't know yet, wait until the end of the video because I'm going to be sharing 12 with you right now. Tactic number 1, start your day with yoga. Now, many experts claim that meditation has been really powerful for helping them grow their businesses. And I look at yoga as a form of meditation as you're really focusing the mind on the breath and the poses. Now, if you're thinking, ugh, I do not have any time to add yoga or the gym into my routine, hear me out. I start my day with only 15 to 20 minutes of yoga per day to really see results in my mental clarity. Now, I also don't go to the gym, but I subscribe to something called yogadownload.com, and I'll leave the link to that in the description box below. But it's a yoga subscription service that there's 1,400 classes to choose from, and it's all online. So I will just come right into my living room, or if I'm traveling, into my hotel room, and I'll do the yoga right there, 15, 20 minutes. And honestly, I don't even look at it as losing 15 to 20 minutes of my day because it helps me be so mentally focused and productive for the rest of the day that I actually get time back. Tip number 2, swap out your coffee for chocolate. Now, this isn't going to work for everyone, and maybe some of you are like, oh, I'll definitely do that one. But hear me out. For a while, I was really into coffee. I mean, I would just have about 1, maybe 2 cups a day. But I noticed I always felt anxious. My heart would race. I would get the crash in the afternoon. In the morning, I'd be like, oh, I'm ready to go. And then by 12 o'clock, I was like kind of falling asleep. And then I'd have the other cup, and I didn't feel so great from it. So a few months back, I went to a party and I got a swag bag that included these things called Awake chocolates. And there's different brands of them. I've tried a few and I honestly like them all, but Awake happens to be my favorite. And I'm not being paid by Awake or anything. I'm just telling you about a product I genuinely love. But anyway, I got these chocolates and I swapped out the coffee for a week for the chocolates. Now, 1 chocolate is 1/4 a cup of coffee. And what I felt was not this sudden oof of energy followed by a oof crash, but instead it was just a slow, smooth stream of clarity and focus and energy that would last me through my whole workday. So now I have exclusively cut out coffee and switched to the chocolate, and I am much more productive from that. Tactic number 3, don't check your emails. Now, okay, I've woken up, I've done my yoga, I've had my chocolate. The next thing I do is I do not check my emails, but instead I will actually get something done on my to-do list. And I liken this tactic to, many people say you should make your bed first thing in the morning because you feel like you've gotten something done. If I check my emails first thing, which I did for a very long time, I felt instantly overwhelmed because I had so many emails, there was problems, and this person needed a form from me, and this person needed this blog post from me, and I had to answer this and that, and hours go by and I haven't really gotten anything done that's going to move the needle on my business. So now what I do is I wake up and I get something done. I write a blog post, I create an email campaign, I produce a video like this, and then around noon, 1 o'clock, I'll check my emails. After that, I'll shut my email off, I'll get something else done, and then about an hour or so before I'm going to turn off for the day, I'll check my emails once again. Tactic number 4, make lists with the free app Asana, and it's also a desktop tool. I learned about this from online entrepreneur Melissa Griffin. And what it does is it allows me to create projects within it, and then within those projects, schedule out the tasks that need to be done to reach this larger goal. And it's really helpful because I also have a small team that helps me get things done, so I can add them into the projects and assign tasks to them as well with due dates. What's also really helpful with this is that I can look at my whole month or even my whole year and see what needs to get done and really look at the big picture, because what I had been doing before was using a million post-it notes that would get crumpled and jumbled, and I'd scribble over one and then I'd put another one and then my cat would eat one, and it was just a mess. So Asana has been a huge help for running my business and being more productive. Tactic number 5, break up the big picture. Now, I just mentioned the big picture and the importance of looking at it. What I used to do was I would think about my 1,000 plus things that I had to do, and I would just feel panicked instantly. And it was really hard to focus and get things done because I was always thinking about the million other things that I also had to get done. Take a deep breath, because this is going to be so much more helpful. Each month, I will choose 1, maybe 2 big goals that I want to accomplish. And then I will break those up into little bundles of tasks that I want to accomplish for each week. So say I want to launch a free challenge to get people onto my email list. Maybe in week 1, I create the challenge content. And week 2, I create the landing page for the challenge and the social media graphics. And then maybe in week 3, I write a blog post to promote the challenge. And in week 4, I run a Facebook ads campaign. Instead of looking at all these things that I need to get done to get this challenge off the ground, I will look at it week by week, the smaller tasks that I need to get done. And then once I complete those all, my big goal has been completed and it wasn't so overwhelming. Which gets us to tactic number 6, work in batches. Now, we've talked a lot about workflow in this video, and I want to talk about this tactic because it is so powerful for helping you be more productive and get into a flow state. And what it refers to is doing similar tasks at the same time instead of doing a bunch of different tasks at the same time. So here's an example. Every week, I have certain tasks that I need to do. I need to create Pinterest pins. I need to create Facebook shares. I need to create Instagram content. I need to write a blog post. I need to edit posts written by my writers. I need to create a video for YouTube. I need to work on my courses. So all these different things need to get done. But instead of doing them all in the same hour, I will sit down and I will create all of my Facebook shares for the week at one time and schedule them out. I will sit down and focus on a blog post at one time, and when I'm completed that blog post, I'll move on to the next thing. And this helps you really consider what needs to be done on Facebook to really make an impact. What needs to be done on Pinterest to really make an impact. Now, this is related to tactic number 7, turn off your notifications. This is so powerful and it's so easy to do. You can do it right now. Grab your phone and just turn off every single notification. You will thank me later. I, for so long, never thought about this. I would have my phone on and I'd be writing a blog post and I'd see, oh, I got an email. Check the email, click, okay. Oh, blog post. Oh, comment on Instagram. Oh, let me just reply. Okay, back to the blog post. You never get anything done. Shutting off notifications will help you actually get things done. And then, like we talked about the working in batches, when it's time to answer your emails or when it's time to answer your Instagram comments, then you can get to that. No one's going to be mad at you that you waited a few hours to reply to their email or comment. Tactic number 8 is a personal favorite: spend more time with paper. I've always loved writing, and that's part of the reason I became a blogger, is that I love writing and I love travel, and it was just the perfect marriage of the two things that I love. The sad thing is with blogging is you do spend a lot of time on the computer, and that's true with pretty much any job out there, right? You have to spend that screen time, but you don't have to do it as much as you probably do now. So what I used to do is I'd have to write a blog post, so I'd outline it on the computer, or I would have to write a script for a video, so I would type it out on the computer. What I found was I really missed these breaks away from the screen. So I've started actually writing these things out on paper and then transferring them to the computer. Or sometimes I won't even transfer it. To be honest, for this video, I wrote the script on paper. And it was nice. I spent an hour off the computer, but I was still being productive and doing the necessary steps that I needed to do to get a project done. And what I have found is that my brain really enjoys the break from the computer, and that I can get back to the computer with a little more clarity and a little more energy going into what I need to do. Next up, tactic number 9, use a stress journal. Now, this is something I actually haven't implemented myself, but I just learned about it from Marie Forleo, and I thought it sounded like such a good idea, so I wanted to share it. What you do is, all these things that build up, these stresses, everything's going great except for this one thing, or there's something that's always bothering you. Write it down in a stress journal. And what this does is it gives you a place to stop just hashing it over in your brain, but instead you can put it somewhere physical. You can look at it and you can start to think about what you can do to solve it and get rid of it. And she also noted that if it's something you can't get rid of, maybe you can think of a way to alter your mindset to view this stressor differently. Now, tactic number 10 is a very uplifting one. Have a wins folder, and you can create this right in Google Drive. I've been doing this for years. What you will put in there are screenshots of your awards, your praises, your accomplishments, so that when you are feeling down on yourself, when you're feeling unproductive, or like you are not accomplishing things in the way that you would like to be, you can give yourself a little bit of a boost and remind yourself of what a great person you are and all the great things you have done. So what I'll put in there is, screenshots of when I was on BBC Travel, or when Bravo asked me to be on a web series with them, or when an Instagram follower tells me that my shares helped them plan their honeymoon and they had such a great time. These are all things that will go into my wins folder, and it's so powerful. Tactic number 11 is another favorite of mine. Take time for self-growth. Now, full disclosure, I do sell blogging courses, so of course I am an advocate for taking courses, but even beyond my own courses, I am constantly taking classes with other experts. For example, right now I am taking a Facebook ads class with Beth Ann of Brilliant Business Moms, and it can be really tough to say, okay, I'm going to take time out of my workday to learn a new skill, because you feel like if you take that time away from your own business, that you're not going to get things done. But honestly, in the end, it makes you more productive. For example, I've been taking this course for a few months. It's an online class, and it's something I can always refer to. I was clueless about Facebook ads when I started, but now I am actually getting profitable sales and more email subscribers from Facebook ads. So yes, I had to take time away from my daily schedule to take this class and learn these new skills. But in the end, it helped me grow my business. And honestly, when you take these classes, you will learn skills that will save you time. And our final tactic, number 12, take time to pause. And this just brings us right back to the beginning. I know it can be so hard when you feel like you are constantly stressed out, constantly go, and you just feel like, hey, if I stop going, my business is going to halt. I'm not going to grow. I have to keep the momentum up. But the truth is, it is so important to look at the big picture regularly. You should always be checking in with your business, what's working, what's not, because I'll tell you what, if you don't do this, what's going to happen is you are going to spend a lot of time doing things that honestly don't matter. For example, in my personal business, I used to over backwards to put up shares on every single social media channel, and I was completely drained. But when I really looked at my business, I realized that, you know what? Instagram, I'm active on it, I like it, but it's not where I want to spend my time because it really doesn't move the needle for me. However, I realized once I started putting a little bit more time into Pinterest, that was a huge game changer for me. So I was able to take a pause, step back, analyze what was working and what was not, and I decided, you know what? All that time I'm putting into Instagram, I can put even less time into Pinterest and see even more results. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you are feeling more motivated and more energized to make big strides in your business with less overwhelm in 2018. Now, before you go, I would love to know, what tactic are you going to implement to help your productivity in the new year? And before you go, please do subscribe. I am always putting out new travel and travel blogging videos. Happy vlogging and Happy New Year.